Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Janice Horoschak of Abstract Couture. I hope you and you are staying safe and healthy this year. 2020 has been crazy, to say the least. Some of the items that I'll be covering in this video is how to get to my website, contacting me for questions, how to navigate my online shop, a brief biography, and my current body of work, which is the Aqueous Collection. So let's start with how to find out more about me. So if you'll want to go to my website, which is www.abstractcouture.com, and that's spelled abstractcouture.com. And here you can find more about my process for my body of work, items that I offer, some imagery and pieces that I've actually created. On this website, you can also go to my online shop. So if you click shop at the top in the horizontal menu, and then also if you have any questions for me or you'd like to subscribe to my email marketing, you can actually click connect and feel free to ask any questions or subscribe. I will tell you that I don't send out any more than 4 emails a year, so I'm not going to bombard you, nor will I share your information with anyone. So a brief biography of myself is that I'm actually born and raised in Maryland. I went to the Maryland Institute College of Art, and I have been doing art as long as I can really remember. I actually have kind of really stuck around the wearable art, although I experiment with other things and different media. And I just always come back to wearable art. And most of my art is usually inspired by nature, whether it be the colors, lines, textures. And it just kind of also kind of more just stems back from spending time with loved ones in nature, and just it kind of is reminiscent from my experience when I was younger and even now. So my current body of work is the Aqueous Collection. I kind of named it that because it just made sense. And kind of how I came up with it is that I was experimenting with different materials, and really I knew that I wanted to kind of revisit paper jewelry again. I did my first when I was 15, and I thought the way to go was semi-precious stone, but I just felt more passionate about the paper jewelry, so I wanted to revisit. And I actually have wanted to try the Yupo and Indie ink, and then I wanted to experiment with resin, as well as experimenting more with a paper cutting tool that I had used. So basically, really the quick and dirty of how I go about the process. So I start with this white Yupo paper. It's kind of has the durability and thickness of photo paper. I then go to paint both sides. Once I paint the sides, I then program the shapes that I want to cut out into my paper cutter. And then when those are cut out, I go ahead and resin each side anywhere from 2 to 4 times until I get the thickness and durability that I kind of want with the piece. And then once that 3-step process is done, I then finish the items, whether I'm gluing hardware on the piece or I need to drill in. So that's kind of the quick overall. I did want to kind of go over some more frequently asked questions that I have at shows, because this is that time to be able to do that. So there's 4 kind of sections to the questions. The first is the creative process. How many days does each piece take to finish? So I would say about 11 consecutive days, because I'm doing 4 coats on each side. That's 8 minimum days. Then I have to paint. I also let the 2 days go in twice in between, 24 hours in between each piece. Towards the end, that last coat, because I just want to make sure it cures out well enough that I'm not damaging the surface when I put that last coat on, and then when I actually finish the piece with hardware. What do you apply the resin with? So let's just say my best friends are coffee stir sticks and toothpicks. How long do your pieces take to make? So it's approximately 1 to 3 hours, I would say, because I do my pieces in batches. I don't just work on one pair of earrings at a time. I'm doing multiple pieces, and they're always in various stages. Um, and so onto the materials section questions. What type of metal do you use with your ear wire post earrings? So I use mostly 0.925 sterling silver ear wire and post. I do have some anti-allergy acrylic posts. For my pendants, the necklaces for my pendants and things like that, I usually use a sterling silver plated or stainless steel. So if there's a specific type of hardware, please let me know, and I can try to work with you to, see if I can switch that out if you're reactive to sterling silver. What materials do I use in my pieces? So you saw the paper. I use air curing epoxy resin, alcohol-based indie ink. Occasionally I'll put other elements in paint in when I'm painting. So like a calligraphy ink, pigment, glitter, and then other embellishments. As I said, my pieces are made out of paper. A lot of people think my pieces are made out of glass or enamel. So what are the wearable pieces? Are they really lightweight? So because they're made out of paper and acrylic, they're extremely lightweight. I would say about less than half the weight of glass, maybe half, but probably less than half of the weight. So that's great, especially when people have very sensitive necks and earlobes. It's a great alternative to those items. Durability topic. What are these really that durable? Considering that they're made out of paper. So I do kind of pride myself on the craftsmanship. So I'd like to say that I have gotten a few confirmations over the past couple of years, and their pieces are still holding up. So it's very good to hear. I just never know, right? When you make something with your hands, you never know if it's going to really hold up to the wear and tear. Are my pieces waterproof? So I prefer to say water resistant. I feel more comfortable with that terminology, just because I've forgotten to take off my earrings when I've gotten in the shower. I definitely suggest not jumping into the pool or ocean. That's kind of at your own risk. But I'd love to hear if you've been wearing them, during these times. Let me know. Also, rain and perspiration is normal. I have a friend that she wears my necklaces all the time and earrings, and she does Zumba class. She teaches Zumba, so she definitely puts some sweat out there. Can my pieces break? So remember, these are mixed media paper art pieces, and they should be respected as such. Since the outer coating is acrylic, it can scratch under the right circumstances, so you don't want to just drag it across the asphalt or concrete. They won't break or shatter, but if you drop them, especially if there's a pointy corner on a piece, that can kind of ding. And so I suggest, if you're really concerned, make sure it's a pretty big pane and a rounded edge on that surface. So like a circle, a rounded square, things like that, are going to be the better pieces. I have skeleton key earrings, and they're very delicate because I can only do like 2 coats on each side. So just take that into consideration when you're making your decisions of purchasing something. So product care. Will sterling silver plated and sterling silver plated cleaners damage resin surface? I'm unsure, and I would not recommend it. I do actually have some non-chemical cloths that I've purchased that don't have like the chemicals, and that actually does really well for the sterling silver ear wires and such. So just I wouldn't recommend it. If you're using some other type of cleaner, make sure you're using a soft cloth rag, because the paper towels can scratch eventually. Can I clean the resin pieces? So you can definitely clean them with Novus Plastic Cleaner. It's the clean and shine step 1 of the 3-step, and use the soft lintless cloth. You could probably use like a 409 as well. Just make sure that you're getting all the residue of the product off, and make sure you're using that rag. Since these are made out of paper, should I be concerned that they will deteriorate? No, I mean, it's actually a polypropylene paper. It's a thermoplastic polymer. So it's technically plastic paper, if you will. So it's a little bit more safe. Plus I do, when I'm applying the resins, I do try to catch the edge. So I'd like to think that it's actually the resin encapsulates the pieces of paper in the resin. Any other things that I should be aware of? So this came to me when I actually do outside shows in the summer. The sun being in the direct sun can make the pieces flexible. And that's very extreme temperatures, like 150 degrees plus. So all you have to do is flatten them and then allow them to become normal temperature, and they'll be as good as new. So that is kind of some of the Q&A. If you have any questions, definitely, click connect on my website. Feel free to ask me any questions. You can also message me through most of the platforms. Yeah, I'd be glad to answer any questions. And thank you for stopping by and listening. Have a great day.